My name is Joe Wilkins Jr.
Okay.
I've been a South Haven native the majority of my life, and born and raised here. Went to school here all the way up through high school. So graduated from here. I know a lot about South Haven. I would say now that I've graduated and have went elsewhere, I would say South Haven is very unique because at the time when I went to school, even though it was a predominantly, white area, I went to school with a lot of the people I grew up with. So I got that mixture of, being around African Americans and being around, Caucasian Americans. So, yeah. I am an electrical engineer. I graduated from Hope College in 2021, and I've been in the workforce for a little over a year now. So, yeah.
Nice. What do you hope to do professionally? Like, what would be your dream job?
My dream job, I hope to be a professional music producer. That is what I dream to be every day and work towards. So, do that, be a businessman, be an entrepreneur. And if I am able to, I would still love to do something in engineering because I put so much, schooling towards it. So, my hope is not to live in South Haven for various reasons, but I would love to do some of the work here in South Haven if possible, and work with the people I may have grown up with that are getting into music, or people that may be in the area and want to travel to see me if I'm in town to do music. So the thing about short-term rental is it is good for the the owners and the people that actually have the money and are investing. And if I was to get in that position, I would love to put forth money into that. But on the other hand, versus people that may be lower income and living on the south side of South Haven, it is challenging because it prevents a lot of people that look like me from getting housing and getting affordable housing, because a lot of owners of these properties and firms buy up all this land that they once didn't want to own, or may have been redlined. It's now become higher value, and they buy it and put short-term rental on all the property, and the value of those homes are so high that the average person can't buy it. So I would say I support, but to an extent. I would rather have less short-term rental in South Haven than more. Yes, I actually have searched for a home in South Haven, and with that, it is challenging with short-term rental because, like I said, most of the land is being bought, and then you put in short-term rental property on all of that land. So it's hard to search for homes, and then the homes that are available are so overpriced. For a regular home like my parents', which is gone, absolutely the price of that home has gone up over the years, but it's, I feel like definitely overpriced than what it should be. So it is challenging for somebody my age, just graduating and looking for a home soon. It's challenging in South Haven. I don't even know if South Haven was really designed to be a youth attraction, because it's more so like this tourist attraction like you see walking around downtown, bring your family out, versus like the cities you think of like young people, you think of like Chicago, Atlanta, and Detroit, which I would say a lot of those cities have in common is like, those big attractions, like the fun things, like maybe the clubs or like gaming places like Dave and Buster's, or things for people to do. Like, there's so much more to do actually in those cities, where I feel like in South Haven, a lot of that stuff may be blocked, from coming, where it's like, different restaurants or different attractions, like let's say like a Craig's Cruisers or something like that would be good if you wanted to attract more young people.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a combination of things, just things that young people actually get into. For somebody like me that has just graduated and looking for jobs, South Haven really doesn't have a lot to offer. If you are really trying to excel and improve yourself in the area, it's kind of difficult. Even me with an engineering degree, there's not very many engineering opportunities here. There may be some, but not a lot. I had to actually, phone a friend and talk to my dad about this because he actually lived through this. And I would say knowing that gentrification went on a lot and was legal from around like the 30s to around the 60s, that caused for a lot of blacks to be shifted and pushed towards the south side of the community. So where you see those like project homes and around the area that our church is at is really the area of South Haven that you would consider red line, and for a long time they would say that, blacks weren't able to get loans to get a lot of housing, or get a house and get it fixed in that area, and it wasn't for businesses weren't allowed to be ran in what was considered a residential area because it wasn't for that. He told me that a lot of times they blocked barbers from starting a shop in that area because it wasn't considered for that area. It wasn't redlined for that area. So it's hurt businesses, it's hurt families. So it's really forced them out, which is driving the black population and even the minority population in general in South Haven to go down, which I feel like might have been desired at one point, and with short-term rental being how it is, and not being controlled to an extent, it's just another form of gentrification because you buy all this land that we aren't able to buy in our own community, put homes in them, and we can't buy the home, so who's going to get the home? It's not going to be us. So we're forced out over time. So the south side of South Haven is what was, considered, I guess, the black side of South Haven, where most blacks live. The north side of South Haven is what you would consider very well off. A lot of houses going down the lake and private beach areas. So. The homes over there are spectacular. I've drove down there. I had actually my grandmother lived on the north side for a period of time. So I would say the south side was more, I guess, preserved for the black community to live for a long period of time. Honestly, I in South Haven, with short-term rental and gentrification, if you want to call it that, in 20 years, I feel like there would be very little to no black population in South Haven. With me, as somebody that has lived here, my parents still live here, it's just not for somebody my age. And with it continuing being like that, and not really, I would say wanting to change because you're getting the money you need during the summertime to preserve you all through the year, So I would say it'd be very, very little to no population of black or even minorities in South Haven in the next 20 years. I would say it would continue to be a tourist attraction, they still will continue to get their money and have the businesses that they want to have in this community. So that's what I would say. Okay, so first I would direct towards like the short-term rental people. I would say that you are still, why not put some of these houses up for, I guess real estate opportunities where people can rent to own. If their desire is to make money, I know they are still able to do that, even with, Airbnb and short-term rental. But even if you had some of these houses go up on the market to where people can buy them, you are still making money. Now, whether it's they feel like if some person of color were to get it and then the property value go down, then I guess that may be something they're considering. But I would just say to those people that are in that position to have those homes, that the Bible does speak about being helpers one towards another, and everything they will make their money, but why not choose to help someone else, that is in need and has the desire to make, want a home and want to raise a family here. To the black community, I would just say it is really time to get a spirit of unity and togetherness, because if we stay divided for our own, reasons and differences, we will, the population of black people will continue to go down, because our children won't live here, because I know a lot of my uncles have experienced and family like bad memories in South Haven, so they don't want to come back to here, for a lot of reasons. And to the youth, I would just tell them continue to work hard, don't give up on it. If you desire to stay here, I personally don't desire to stay here, but don't give up on it. If you really want to stay in this area, that I feel like you could, So that is what I would say.